Queen Padme Amidala became a crucial figure in the Star Wars universe. In this transmission, we're going to look at other rulers of Naboo. Naboo's ruler is called king or queen. This is not a monarchy based on inheritance or nepotism. The king or queen is chosen in a democratic election. To limit the damage dynasties could create, each ruler could only serve two-year terms. Some of the rulers have very scant details, but I'll cover them the best I can. For relevance, we're going to stick to the Fall of the Jedi, Fall of the Republic era. 44 to 40 BBY saw Queen Ekay's reign. There's not much information on her. She knew Jedi Master Rael Averross, a former Padawan of Count Dooku, as well as Senator Sheev Palpatine, who would, of course, go on to become the Emperor. 40 to 36 BBY, Naboo's queen was Amay, or Amy. The only thing I could find about Amy was an indirect mention in 2019's Master and Apprentice. Amy almost got wrapped up in drama with another planetary leader, Princess Fanry. Fanry would go on to denounce democracy and declare herself a warrior queen. She said it was for the good of the people, but I think that's how a lot of dictators start. 36 to 34 BBY, Queen Relata took the throne. She was a fair leader in easy times. She did a single term and stepped away from politics to become a semi-successful opera singer. 34 to 32 BBY, Queen San Andreas served a single 2-year term. She favored isolationist policies for Naboo. 32 to 28 BBY brought the infamous Queen Amidala at just 14 years old. She ruled during a very difficult time. A blockade led to a war. Amidala freed her people, but after 2 terms as queen, she chose not to run for re-election when they offered to bend the rules. Instead, she served the people of Naboo as senator. 28 to 26 BBY brought Queen Relata back for a second term. 26 to 22 BBY, Queen Jamila followed. The galaxy was on the brink of war. Jamila continued many of Amidala's works and advocated for peace. 22 to 20 BBY, Queen Nayutni was ruler of Naboo. She ruled for the majority of the Clone Wars. She had to deal with many serious issues against her planet. 20 to 18 BBY, Queen Apailana was the youngest queen at just 12 years old. Amidala actually backed the young girl's candidacy. She helped Naboo transition as the Empire took over the galaxy. She never believed the Jedi killed Queen Amidala. 3 BBY, Queen Dalne sat on the throne. By now, an Imperial moth had any real power over the planet. Dalne was a ceremonial queen. She was frustrated in her position. She jumped at the chance to work with Leia Organa and do some real good. Organa had Dalne distributing supplies to those who needed them behind the Empire's back. The two women also campaigned through the official channels for change in the galaxy. The Moff at the time, Panaka, resisted the changes. Upon his death, Dalne acted for reform before the power vacuum could be filled. There's a bit of a haze in the intervening years until Queen Soruna's rule in 4 ABY. She was in charge when Palpatine was defeated aboard the second Death Star. Palpatine had a contingency plan called Operation Cinder. This would see select planets leveled by the rest of the Imperial military. Soruna pleaded with the Rebel Alliance for help. They came through and saved Naboo. When the new Republic formed out of the rebellion, Soruna gave a substantial donation in return. There's a small gap here. This could be due to the rule of the Empire, which started in 19 BBY. The Empire put their own Moffs in charge, as we just discussed. The Moff at this time was Panaka, as I just said. If that name's familiar, it's because Quarsh Panaka was Queen Amidala's former head of security. In doing research for this one, I did find some discrepancies. The Star Wars universe is always growing, new stories always being told, and gaps always being filled. As an example, the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia lists King Ars Venura as Amidala's predecessor. There was also a gap my updated list fills in with Queen Relata's second term. These small inconsistencies are explained by new stories filling in the gaps. There's also the subject of legends compared to canon. The primary reference used to compile my list was the Star Wars Timelines book from 2023, figuring the newest information is probably the most accurate. Check out this transmission next for more on the Star Wars universe.